The spotlight glared, a single accusing eye, empty. Where moments ago a miniature world had thrived, now only stark blackness gaped back. The clay figures, meticulously crafted, were gone, vanished. Panic tightened its grip. This was no child's prank. These figures were insured, museum quality, each worth a small fortune. More than that, they were his life's work. Gone. He whirled, heart pounding, searching for any sign, any clue. The room was silent, the air thick with the scent of dust and old paint. A chill snaked down his spine. He was not alone. News of the disappearance spread like wildfire through the art community. Whispers followed, hushed conversations laced with disbelief and a touch of morbid fascination. How could something like this happen? The curator, a woman with eyes as sharp as shards of glass, paced the empty display case. Every inch of the room was scrutinized, each shadow a potential hiding place. She refused to believe it. Things like this didn't just happen. Did they? The air crackled with unspoken questions. Was it a publicity stunt, an inside job, or something far more sinister, something that whispered of obsessions and dark desires? Days bled into weeks, each one a hammer blow to hope. The police investigation, initially a whirlwind of activity, had dwindled to a frustrating standstill. Dead ends, cold trails, nothing. He wandered the empty halls of the museum late at night, the silence deafening. The figures had been more than just clay and paint. They held stories, emotions, fragments of his soul. Now they were gone, and with them, a part of himself. The shadows seemed to lengthen, twisting into grotesque shapes that mocked his despair. He was losing himself in the darkness, consumed by a mystery that refused to be solved. The detective assigned to the case, a man weathered by years of chasing shadows, sat hunched over his desk. The file lay open before him, a testament to his failure. No fingerprints, no forced entry, no witnesses. He tapped a photograph of the missing figures, the image mocking him with its cheerful innocence. It made no sense. The theft was too clean, too precise. It reeked of professionalism, yet the motive remained elusive. He rubbed his tired eyes, a nagging feeling gnawing at the edges of his mind. There was something they were missing, some vital clue lurking just out of reach. But what? The curator, her sharp gaze missing nothing, observed the quiet despair that had settled over the artist. She had seen this before, the way grief could consume a person, leaving them hollowed out and adrift. She had her own suspicions, her own theories whispered in the hushed corners of the museum after hours. There was a certain collector, a man known for his ruthless acquisition methods and his penchant for the macabre. Could he be involved? She vowed to uncover the truth, not just for the sake of the missing art, but for the artist himself. He deserved answers, even if they were the last thing he wanted to hear. Section 6. Clues in the Dust. Obsessed, the artist returned to his studio, a space now haunted by the ghosts of his creations. Each sculpture seemed to whisper secrets, their eyes following him as he moved. The air was thick with the scent of clay and the weight of unfinished stories. He sifted through the remnants of his work, searching for any overlooked detail, any stray fingerprint in the clay dust. His hands, covered in a fine layer of clay, moved methodically, almost ritualistically. Each particle of dust held a memory, a fragment of his relentless pursuit of perfection. His fingers brushed against a small wooden box, tucked away on a high shelf. It was an old box, its wood worn smooth by time and hidden from sight. The artist's heart raced as he carefully brought it down, feeling the weight of its secrets. He hadn't noticed it before. How could he have missed it? The box seemed to pulse with a life of its own, as if it had been waiting for this moment, for him to discover it. Inside, nestled in velvet lining, lay a set of miniature tools, each one crafted with meticulous care. They were delicate, almost too perfect, as if made for hands much smaller than his own. The tools glinted in the dim light, their edges sharp and precise, and a single tiny key. It was intricately designed, with patterns that seemed to tell a story of their own. The key was cold to the touch, sending a shiver down his spine as he held it. He stared at the key, a cold dread settling in his gut. What did it unlock? Why was it hidden here? Questions swirled in his mind, each one more unsettling than the last. The key felt like a piece of a puzzle he didn't know he was trying to solve. It was the same design as the lock on the display case, a lock he thought only he possessed a key to. But someone else knew. Someone had been here before, leaving behind this tiny key as a silent message. The realization hit him like a tidal wave, leaving him breathless and more determined than ever to uncover the truth. Section 7. The Night Watchman's Tale. The Night Watchman, a man who moved like a shadow himself, had seen more than people realized. His job was to ensure the safety of the museum's treasures, but over the years, he had become a silent observer of the night. Each creak of the floorboards, each whisper of the wind, he knew them all. He had learned to move with the darkness, becoming almost invisible in the dimly lit corridors. He patrolled the desolate halls, a silent guardian against the encroaching darkness. The museum, a place of wonder by day, transformed into a realm of shadows by night. The artifacts seemed to take on a life of their own, casting eerie silhouettes on the walls. The watchman felt a sense of duty, a responsibility to protect these relics from any harm that might come their way. And he had seen something that night. It was unlike anything he had encountered before. A fleeting glimpse of movement caught his eye, a shadow that didn't belong. His heart raced as he tried to make sense of what he had seen. Was it a trick of the light, or something more sinister? A figure, cloaked and hooded, moving with an eerie grace through the museum. The watchman had never seen anyone move like that, so fluid and silent. It was as if the figure was gliding on air, leaving no trace behind. He followed at a distance, his curiosity piqued, but his instincts on high alert. He had dismissed it at the time, attributing it to his imagination playing tricks on him. After all, the mind can conjure up all sorts of images in the dead of night. He had convinced himself that it was nothing, just a figment of his tired mind. But now, with the artist's discovery, the memory returned with chilling clarity. The watchman couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to that night than he had initially thought. The artist had uncovered something that brought those memories flooding back, each detail more vivid than before. He had seen something else that night, something he hadn't thought important at the time. A small object, barely noticeable in the dim light, had caught his eye. He had brushed it off, thinking it was just another piece of debris, a small, intricately carved wooden box discarded in a trash bin. It seemed out of place, too ornate to be thrown away so carelessly. The watchman had paused for a moment, contemplating whether to retrieve it, but had ultimately decided against it. He hadn't thought anything of it then. It was just another oddity in a night full of strange occurrences. He had continued his patrol, leaving the box behind, unaware of its significance. Now, he realized with a jolt, it was gone. The box, the figure, the memories, they all connected in a way that sent shivers down his spine. The night watchman knew he had to uncover the truth, no matter where it led him. Section 8. Unraveling Threads. The pieces of the puzzle swirled before him, refusing to form a clear picture. The stolen tools, the missing key, the mysterious figure in the night, each clue a thread, tangled and frayed, leading him deeper into the labyrinth. He traced the patterns of his life, searching for any connection, any reason why someone would target him and his work. He had always been a solitary man, content in his own world of clay and imagination. Had he unknowingly stumbled into something dangerous? The weight of the unknown pressed down on him, suffocating. He had to find out the truth, no matter the cost. But as he delved deeper, he realized that some mysteries are best left unsolved. Section 9. The Vanishing Act. The empty stage remained, a constant reminder of the mystery that gripped the art world. It was as if the very essence of creativity had been stolen, leaving behind a void that echoed with unanswered questions. The stage, once vibrant with life and color, now stood as a silent witness to an enigma that refused to be solved. Theories abounded, whispers of curses and shadowy figures haunting the museum halls. Some spoke of ancient artifacts imbued with dark magic, while others believed in the restless spirits of artists long gone. The corridors of the museum, usually filled with the hum of admiration, now buzzed with speculation and fear. But the truth remained elusive, a secret locked away in the silence. Behind every locked door, there seemed to be another layer of mystery, another puzzle piece that didn't quite fit. The silence was deafening, a constant reminder of the unknown that lurked just beyond reach. Was it a meticulously planned heist, orchestrated by a cunning thief with a penchant for the macabre? The idea of a master criminal weaving through the shadows, evading every security measure, captivated the imagination. Each detail of the heist, from the planning to the execution, seemed to be shrouded in an almost theatrical flair. Or was there something darker at play? A force driven by obsession, revenge, or something even more sinister? The possibility of a malevolent entity, driven by motives beyond human comprehension, sent shivers down the spines of those who dared to ponder it. The shadows seemed to move with a life of their own, hinting at a presence that was both unseen and deeply felt. The Vanishing Act remained unsolved, a chilling reminder that some questions are better left unanswered, some mysteries too profound to be explained. The empty stage, with its air of melancholy, stood as a testament to the enigma that had captured the collective imagination. It was a story that seemed to grow with each retelling, becoming more intricate and haunting. And in the silence, the clay dust seemed to whisper, urging the curious to look closer, to unravel the threads of a mystery that refused to be forgotten. Each speck of dust, each faint footprint, held a story waiting to be discovered. The mystery of the Vanishing Act was not just a tale of disappearance, but a call to those who dared to seek the truth, to delve into the unknown and bring light to the shadows.